Good day everyone, Dr. Blob here. Well, you read the title, and we know how this goes. I will be analyzing each of the newest English voices released in Arknights and evaluate which ones are the best and which ones are mistuned, depending on how much of the character appears in their lines. Pretty simple, right? So, let's get this over with. It's not like there are many of them on anything, right? Well, shut. Apparently, Hypercliff wanted to make up for the void of EN releases we had since Stutifer and Abyss, making this batch the biggest one so far. As such, I will be needing to make a bit of an adjustment, as keeping it at 5 will be unfair. So this time around, we will be having not 5, but 7 entries per list. So buckle up, buckaroos, this is a long one. These are the 7 best and mistuned EN voices in Arknights. 4th batch. This time around though, I found it more difficult to figure out who will be in the mistuned list, as even the first place has some redeeming qualities to its performance, which in turn tell us how much effort is made by the dubbing team. None of these entries have the problem I mentioned the most last time, over-focusing on a single aspect of the character, as the tone and energy given is far more varied and diverse than ever before. So be ready to hear completely new reasons why I think these voices were unfortunate to be on this side of the video. Starting with...
Bruh.
Greetings, Doctor. Is there anything you'd like to discuss? You look quite pale. You say your chest hurts? Don't overwork yourself. Please get some rest. Don't be afraid. I'm right beside you. Everything will be okay. You've seen my healing arts somewhere before. That must have been your imagination. Yes, our memories do deceive us on occasion. Now, you ask? Now we have nothing left. That war bereaved us of all hope. It's been some time since I've known such serenity. I can even hear your heartbeat.
I am conflicted this time. In one side, the voice provided by Jane Jackson fits Shining Face to a T, but it sounds less caring and melancholic as a trade-off. It does have its share of melancholy, but the amount is quite lower in my opinion. While I can still hear the mystery behind her voice, there is little in regard to her regrets and remorse about her past actions. So while I don't think this to be a bad interpretation, I'm afraid this voice work to be off just enough to earn its place as the 7th mistuned of this batch.
Hello, Doctor. I'll be acting as your assistant from here on. Please, keep an appropriate distance from me. I'll be more at ease that way. Operator Myrtle? Calling herself Generalissimo? That's just a childish fence. It's her own self-styling. If you'll permit my frankness, it's my belief Rhodes Island should build work and living environments more suited to the Duran operators. At least the cafeteria menu should be decided by vote. You require me to draft some slogans? I'd be happy to. It was routine work of mine in Zero Erza. You only need to provide me a typewriter, and that's all. Why do I not use a pen? My fountain pen is typically for more private things, more not-so-Duran things. Uberiruki! Apologies. That wasn't intentional, but I did eventually come to realize. We only drink in excess when hope is lost, and a forever stagnant, easy life can lose us hope as well as anything.
Like Even holds, here we have an excellent use of an accent, and according to my experts, her Russian isn't that bad. It's not perfect, but it feels more fluid and doesn't sound forced. Regarding the meat and potatoes of the voice work, I think she's a bit more emotionally distant. While I will lower some points because of it, in her particular case, it makes more sense. She still doubts land dwellers and especially Rhodes' intentions, but at the same time it loses some of her kindness. Though she still sounds caring when looking after the Durins in the landship. A good interpretation for Terra's Anastasia, and the 7th place in the best list.
Aww. Greetings, Doctor. You're glowing today. To see you so well, it's all I could ever hope for. I prepared an antidote to nullify the effects of any common poison. I'd like you to take 1 dose before every battle. Use poison to fight the evils and crimes. Isn't that ironic to you? I've got a poison to melt away all these remains in an instant. Want me to show you? Why do you keep staring at me? You mean it's because my eye color is special? Is that a compliment, Doctor? Did you just touch me? Can you do that again? Please?
Good performance. I can feel both her need for contact, yet her more creepy poisonous side in equal amounts. However, she sometimes sounds a bit robotic in her deliveries, almost as if she doesn't care who she is talking with. Ironic considering there is another character who could have made use of say delivery instead. It does make sense with Blue Poison's backstory. However, this is kept even in the lines where she is getting closer to the Doctor, sounding less impressed and more baffled about it. So, due to this lack of consistency in her role, I am placing Ordira Surius in the 6th spot of the Mistuned list.
Did you call for me, Doctor? I feel so happy to be with you! Dr. Cowsit teaches me a ton of practical stuff, although it's tough to actually learn. At least I've always had a knack for nutrition, so I think I'm doing well with that. I feel better about everyone here, compared to when I just joined Rhodes Island. And they all eat my healthy food on schedule. But why does everyone pull these weird faces when they finish? Isn't it lonely cooking all by yourself? Let me help you out. Oh, right, and let's get lava in here too. Out of all of Rhodes Island, it feels like your office is the one place that hasn't changed. I've always been so hard on everyone, keeping them to healthy schedules, never letting them do anything bad for their illness. It turns out I was the one failing at all of that. But don't worry, there's still a lot I've got to do. I'm not giving in yet. Diseases don't just torment the body, they impact the mind too. How will others see me? Can I ever live how I used to? Everyone has worries like that. If I can't help my patients put them to rest, then my treatment isn't done yet. Doctor, would you be open for food with me today? I'll go and ask Lava along.
This is how you portray character growth and development. While regular Hibby isn't anything that impressive, she feels pretty similar to the original one, Hibiscus Alter perfectly nails the development she went through over her years in Rhodes, leaving the idealistic, childish attitude behind in exchange for a more mature and wise woman. However, you can still feel that overbearing part of her from time to time, namely when cooking is involved. So far, of all the Alter members of A1, Hibiscus is without a doubt the one who holds the more pain over whatever happened in their past, and Yuuki Luna manages to portray these feelings of remorse and nostalgia to perfection. If she doesn't go any higher, it's simply because of how great the next entries are. Yet not a bad place for Lavas and their twin, and an example of how the dubbing team does learn from their mistakes.
Crikey!
Want to listen to some music? I'll lend you my headphones. Sorry, please keep a little distance from me. I never imagined that I'd have the chance to become a rescue worker. I picked up this axe a long time ago, maybe even before I learned to read. I only realized how precious life is after everyone around me died, one by one. Ironic, huh? I think so too. I'm a mercenary. I just do my job. As for the purpose of my mission and its consequences, I don't have a say in any of that. So, from now on, all my responsibilities are your concern. Da, 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 da.
She sounds calm and very experienced in regard to war, yet at the same time, she doesn't sound as cold and aloof as the original, who keeps a safe distance from others yet doesn't run from people, as if deep down she still wants to be close to others. Ina Marie Smith, though, sounds more distant and a bit aggressive at times. Not a bad interpretation for a mercenary. But that's the thing, Frostleaf is a former mercenary, she had a long time to see life in a new light and even value it beyond battlefields. Because of the loss of this development, it's hard for me to believe these two voices belong to the same character, and thus landing her in this side of the list.
Doctor, watch your hands. If you aren't careful around my weapons, you'll get hurt. Here are the instruments I used to play. There aren't too many of them, but the gems on them are very valuable. Sell them, and they should cover my medical fees. Once my debt's cleared, I'd like to go back to living on my own. Would that be all right? Instructor? Professor? My previous savior brought me to those with the same title, and look how I ended up. This is my lyre. I may be better with other instruments, but I like playing this one most. Listen, such an airy, lingering timbre, and the hand moves so beautifully when playing. But when you fully lose yourself in the melody, the knife concealed inside will... I'm sorry. I got carried away. Doctor, once my illness has stabilized to a point, can I stay here?
A very good performance. While Yuka Saito did a good job portraying someone distrustful of others and regretful of her past, Frankie Kevik managed to portray that and her doubts towards Rhodes while also conveying how she slowly come to believe in them. Not only that, but we can also feel how she can sometimes leak back on her old conditioning, showing it as something she's clearly afraid and ashamed of. Not to mention how she changes from distrustful to protective of Rhodes Island as her character develops. This is one of those cases in which the EM voice greatly surpasses the JP one, earning her place in this list. I don't place her any higher because of the astonishing work done by the next entries. But first, we have to return to the other side of the list, making way to entry 4.
Greetings, Doctor. How may I assist you? My racial traits, in conjunction with my infection, may cause me to fall asleep in mid-conversation. Do not be alarmed. Warning. Formatting Rhodes Island database. Don't worry. It's just a joke. Please don't panic. The way I speak? It is a side effect of originium poisoning. By no means do I enjoy articulating my thoughts this way. It is, in fact, quite burdensome to speak in this manner. But this is a necessary measure to prevent the system nexus from being devoured by that other voice. Doctor, if I lose control, please guide me back onto the right path.
Heather Nicole has a beautiful voice, very soothing and melodious. Yet that's the last thing you want to voice a computer. An AI, I guess, but definitely not an individual making use of her programming knowledge to keep the voices in her head at bay. As I said, it sounds like the idea behind the voice work was to make her sound more like an android rather than commands being spoken out loud by a computer. It is quite different. Regarding what I felt, well, this one is hard since both performances lack much of the emotions a regular voice uses when communicating. But from both, I feel a bit more coming from Heather's performance. Making Ptilopsis emotionless, even when in combat, is part of her character. As such, I'm afraid our table enthusiast will stay under number 4.
You're still not done assigning tasks? I'll wait a bit longer then. Keep calm and carry on. I had a dream. A dream where the sun rises, and in the distance beyond the horizon, there was my hometown. The place I might never get to return to. Ever again. Before I knew it, I'd gotten accustomed to this drifter's life. It's a strange thing. In the past, I never imagined this was how I'd end up. Stay on your guard. I know you've done the best you can. but there may be unknown dangers beyond our abilities. If we're ever put in a tough situation, then I may well act on my own motives. And if it comes to that, Doctor, I hope you'll join me too in... No, never mind for now. It's too noisy out there for my tastes. I think the silence of your office suits me more. Let me stay in here for a bit, will you?
Like many other high-profile voice actresses, Ayako Kawasumi, better known as Seiba, is very well known for her strong and royal characters, making her a tough act to follow. Yet Claudia Jolie was able to meet her head-on, and even surpass her in some regards. While nowhere near as regal, her work in Siege still gives her an elegant voice, neither lacking strength nor inner conflict regarding her duty as a noble. Despite these differences, I think Claudia's work is better suited for this role, since her tone reflects Siege's troubled past more clearly, unlike the aloof tone of the original one, making her a better fit of a voice for Victoria's candidate to the crown.
Nope.
All right, Doctor. Your tarot card for today is... Would you like to learn more about your future? Bear it in mind that excessive reliance on unfathomed power will eventually backfire on us. Destiny is like the world we walk upon. No one can escape it. There are countless topics for which you can consult the tarot, the most common one being your luck in card games. To change it, however, you must be brave enough to change your fate first. It's a divination taboo to do readings concerning death. But I don't believe death is the end. It's the beginning of something new. Dreams can often enlighten you in strange ways. If you have an enlightening dream like that, you'd best remember every detail, Doctor. Want me to do a reading on your future? All right, please give me a minute.
Not a bad performance. If anything, I can feel the wisdom behind Sarah Owen's interpretation. However, the delivery is where I have a problem with. While she looks young, there is this sense of maturity given to Gitano. Not to mention the type of Japanese used by Kanayuki is of the very old-fashioned kind, supporting Gitano's air of wisdom in the old ways with the delivery of her words. This one, on the other hand, is just too young, making me think that Sarah might have some problems voicing mature characters. If anything, I think she will be perfect to voice someone way younger and energetic than the role she has been given so far. Hopefully, that will be rectified in the future. But for now, this trend of her lands her as number 3.
Yeah, I get it. You deserve a nice rest in your off time. But you gotta get your treatment right now. Huh? You want me to be gentle and caring? That's nurse stuff, pal. I'm a doctor, from top to toe. That means healing. Treatment. Don't waste my time with the fluff. Huh? I didn't beat anyone up. I just wanted to say hi. Watch, let me demo. I initiate physical contact, and that's how I get closer to people, see? Doctor, check it out. Getting extra weapons is kind of a juggling act, so I found a solution. Trained my tail a little, and now I can use it to hold my staff. Only downside is, I think my tail got thicker after all that exercise. How's that, Doctor? Shoulders feel much better, right? I told you, controlling my strength's a piece of cake. It's just none of you want to believe me. I've been practicing medicine as a pro for years now. It's about time you recognize the fact, don't you think? I gotta hand it to her, Doctor. This axe Zumama made for me turned out great. But I've already got this muscle memory from whacking enemies with my staff. See? Still carrying it with me. I'm here to save people after all, not beat 'em up. Gotta work that out. Doctor, you know, there's times you can trust your intuition. You got all these operators who trust you, see? Even with your eyes closed, your fists are still real strong. What? Compared to mine? Hey, I could KO you before you even made it out of this office, so I'm the stronger one there. Zumama can build machines, Tamimi can manage people, and Inam's a damn good Lord Amir. Man, my friends rule. But my medical skills aren't bad either. Huh? What do you mean that's the one thing they'd argue?
I will be honest, I never saw Gabrielle as that big of a deal. Mostly due to how her Japanese voice sounded more rude than actually violent. I do understand how her speech is taken as violent in Japanese. But for this setting, especially seeing how many of the people we treat in Rhodes aren't exactly meek, her voice didn't reflect the medic everyone is so afraid of. Here, however, we have one of the best voice works I have seen so far. Courtesy of Natalie Winter, not only does she come off strong, but direct and to the point, making me feel how, if I don't watch my words, I will be on the receiving end of some kinetic anesthesia. Now I can tell how violent she can get and why people will be afraid of her. Fitting for the main character of the story to earn the third spot in the best voice podium.
Doctor, if you want me to talk to you, then at least give me some topics I can show interest in. Doctor, don't blame me for having no interest in your grand endeavors. To be honest, the reason I became an abyssal hunter is hardly as lofty as you imagine. Abyssal hunters bear a grave mission. But me? I just think the life suits me more, that's all. You want to know about my life in Ager? After so much time, my childhood memories are a bit of a blur. Maybe I'll remember a thing or two by telling you about it. Originally, I was meant to be a sculptor. My combat style shows no restraint compared to the past. Doctor, I think you might be misunderstanding me. If you call me mad, I'll take it as an insult. But if you call my combat style mad, I'll take that as a commendation. Hark! To the boundless master of all creation, embraced by darkness, murmuring soliloquy. Let me take a stab, Doctor. Maybe you like the old me rather more than the present me. I'll be honest, I've got a soft spot for that me too. It's nice to be so pure, isn't it? Even if I've got a list of gripes about Rhodes Island, you people haven't abandoned the collection and preservation of art. I can retract all my criticisms just for that. I recognize you, and you recognize me. We don't need all those boring introductions. But you still don't know me, and I still don't know you. If I recall correctly, Drylanders use simple enough means to get to know each other. So let's get communicating.
As everyone else in this side of the list, not a bad work. But clearly Harriet Carmichael was chosen to work on regular Spectre, with her tone being perfect to portray this mysterious yet dangerous woman who only comes out to perform violence. However, it seems she's having problems finding a more lively and violent voice, which seems to be out of her ballpark. Again, it's not bad. I can hear her sassiness and filtratiousness to roll right. However, JP Spectre Alter can keep that while also sounding amused, mysterious, and remained elegant when speaking about her past. In contrast, Ian sounds condescending and a bit rude at times. I will still consider it best worthy had it not been for regular Spectre, who I think is the better interpretation of the two, leaving her Alter as second place in the Mistuned category.
All my tasks must relate to the sea or Iberia. Huh? You have too much work? Okay. I'll make some time to help you out. It's been bugging me, so I really have to ask. Is Skadi like that when she talks to you too? Like, does she always say only the bare minimum, nothing more? Huh? No? She's actually very sentimental? Wait, are we really talking about the same Ager? For Iberia's prosperity? For Iberia's defense? And for Iberia's orderliness and integrity, I shall raise my sword and my light. I may not be an inquisitor anymore, but I know very well that my duty remains the same. The scriptures tell us the light of an inquisitor's lantern is the light of faith within our hearts. It wasn't until I saw my master's last ray of light that I truly understood what this means. When an inquisitor lays down judgment, her ruling should be based not on law, but instead her own heart. The truth felt like it swallowed me whole when it happened. Was I wavering? Crumbling? Despairing? No, I couldn't feel anything. Until I killed another sea terror. I finally realized that I fought only because I wanted to live. Isn't that just like Iberia today? When I get back, you said I could go to the Rhodes Island Ball? That's a promise, right?
Rie Kagumiya is perhaps one of the most known, prolific and beloved voice actresses I have ever heard. Renowned as the Tsundere Queen due to her ability to portray characters with short tempers yet lovable personalities, and the instant I saw Irene, I knew she would be a perfect fit to voice her, coming as no surprise when she actually landed the role. But isn't this an EN ranking? Why am I talking about JP voices all of a sudden? Because, as incredible as her JP actress is and how much I respect her work, I think she undersold Irene. It sounded way too polite and gentle. None of the determination Irene's whole character arc is about. Lizzie Waterworld, on the other hand, completely nails the job, giving Irene the will to face her foes, the fear of faltering in her convictions, and the determination to move forward regardless, while also keeping her polite tone. Definitely one of the best voices in this batch, and a notorious improvement over the Japanese voice. Not to mention, she's also one of the characters to receive an accented voice work, which made me believe for a moment that Lizzie might live in Spain at some point, though listening her speak actual Spanish breaks the illusion rather swiftly.
Data Prisa!
Because of this, Irene barely loses the first spot. Nevertheless, I prize her performance to high heaven, not only for how good it is, but also for surpassing a voice acting legend, landing her the second spot in all her glory.
Здравствуйте. I'm here for my shift. Such a peculiar look on your face. Do I seem so unreliable? We don't throw ourselves into battle because we want to. We just have a stronger will to survive than most. If you understand, that alone would be enough. How did we escape from Chernobyl? You really don't want to know. Sometimes the truth is better left untold. Home? Moira Noikorot? Oh, obviously, we can't go back there. You know as well as I do that there's nothing left of it. Even if we rebuild Chernobyl, I still... Что? It's too noisy here. Я лучше почитаю в кабинет, доктор.
I know the community has been clamoring for more accented voice works, and I've been praising such a thing in this very video. Yet when listening to Anna talk in English, all I can notice is how forced her accent is. And I'm not the only one saying this. They also concur on how awkward it sounds to them. So while I will still ask for more accents in Arknights, I will suggest keeping it to a natural level. Regarding the performance itself, and as hilarious as it was to hear, we get very little of Anna's personality for her voice. I mean, I know it's unfair to compare Risa May with Aoi, I am the spotlight of my works, Yuki, but it is precisely because of such a great job that there is an expectation to meet. Not to mention we have already seen voice actors surpassing other legendary voice actors in this game, and I am sad to say that this one did not. Too much accent, very little character. Because of this, I place Tina's English voice at the top of the Mistuned list. But as seen in previous mistakes done in the past, I am sure this will be ironed out in future entries. So long they keep showing to be learning from their mistakes, I will keep looking forward to more English voices to be released, as we will see in the last entry in this video. Without further ado, let's end this with what I believe is the best performance shown this time around. Number 1 is...
I've never been an assistant before. It's a novel experience, but rest assured that I will not be remiss, even if this work is not my forte. If any children aboard Rhodes Island wish to learn piano, you may send them to me. but I am a strict teacher. I am not one to release a student part way once he begins his studies. Are you curious about my hands? Indeed, they're broader than others at a glance. Please, they're no freakish things. I have them to thank that I can rain every melody that swims in my head down onto the keys. Asleep? I hardly expected the lullabies I wrote to have an actual effect on you. Perhaps you would like to try learning an instrument. I could teach you. I'm qualified to tutor for the majority of them. So many voices have been snuffed out in the rapids of history. Their owners were hardly without talent. They simply left too soon, before anyone could stop and listen to their masterpieces, fine as nature's song. And I was but slightly luckier, enough so to escape with my life.
Clearly, the dubbing team decided to repeat the success that was Phantom Asylum by going for someone who not only has a great voice, but is also knowledgeable on the field he is supposed to work in. As such, Gunnar Kotteri was perfect for the job, as not only does he have an impressive resume, but is also a songwriter in his spare time. As such, he is able to bring forth sheer love for the musical arts, as well as his short temper for those who insult them.
Listen or leave! Shut up or else! Get out right now!
Not too dissimilar to the renowned composer. So while JP's voice is very elegant, I feel the Ian one has far more energy and strength to his performance. Not to mention that the use of the accent was perfect. Not too thick, neither too subtle. Selling the idea that our composer comes from Terra's version of Germany. Returning to his personality, he has the bombastic tongue to sell his temperament, but also an elegant gentleness to promote his passion for music, and even a certain eagerness to teach about it. As mentioned in these videos, what I look for in the voice work is not how similar it sounds to the original, but rather how much I feel the character in their voice. And this time, I not so much feel Cerny in this voice. I believe this to be him talking to the Doctor without an inch of a doubt. Because of this, I give Cerny's voice the first spot as the best Ian voice of this batch, and applaud the hard work done by the dubbing team, who clearly give their all this time around. Something else to notice, besides the excellent use of accent in most of these performances, is the amount of freedom given to the voice actors, as many of the lines spoken are slightly different from the ones originally shown in the operator's files, improving the delivery and making the lines sound far more natural and in line with their personalities. But keep in mind, do not go too far with this freedom. We don't want to have a Crunchyroll level of rewriting in our hands. Everything in moderation after all. Phew. This one took some time to make. Not only were there a lot of voices to go over, but also all of them did a terrific job, making it hard for me to decide how to allocate them in this list. However, that doesn't mean my word is loud. You are free to love whichever performance you prefer. If anything, be sure to share it in the commentaries down below. Or if you want to tell us what you would like to see from future dubs, you can write about it just as well. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as every person joining helps the channel gain notoriety. Hopefully, might bring our ideas closer to Hyperglyph. For now, this has been Dr. Blub, thanking you all for your time. And worry not, I will be doing the flat review of the remaining characters right away. So until next time, stay healthy everyone.